Hey everyone, welcome to Shedding Mysticism, where we talk about eh, things that are kind of mystical and maybe true or not true, and we discover how we can train our minds not to have mysticism in it and go right there first thing rather than discovering the facts. This is why it's called Shedding Mysticism, and that's pretty much my intro. I apologize, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of energy. Tonight's topic is political apologetics. Now, this is something that I'm pretty much coining. I don't know if somebody else has or not, but as it is right now, I haven't heard this term before. So you heard it here first from the Harmonica Man on Shedding Mysticism. So, political apologetics. Lately, about the past, I don't know, well, especially the past 4 years when we had the Trump era, apologetics have played a major role in politics where they should not have, particularly religious rhetoric and apologetics, and all these apologists influencing the political venue, I suppose, to lean a certain way and explain away things that are in reality as if they are, bad or the bad guy, and things that are not in reality are somehow the thing that you need to fight for, made up um, enemies that don't exist, big cabals, and, you know, uh, sex trafficking directly from politicians, but only the one kind of politician, as if the rest of them don't do it too. But for some odd reason, those are our enemies. Let's go get them because, our religious books that you're manipulated by tell you who to hate. And your leaders tell you all the things about them, why you should hate them. And these are called, and the apologetics part is explaining away how these things can be true. Just like telling a fairy tale story. And it's usually apologetics is a Christian word. And I don't want to pick on any one religion or anything, but in America, here, it is Christian influence. And it is pretty shitty that it doesn't matter what you do, simply because you exist, you find out you're up to all these damn things that you've never done. Neither has anybody else. But magically, and there's a lot of magic involved and spiritualism and all this other stuff that is just, come on, pull your head out of your ass. But these are explained more and more and more in the buildup from rhetoric, rabble rousing, basically getting people built up in order to take action. This is what the raid on the Capitol building and everything was all about. It was because they got themselves all worked up by shit that they made up, listening to conspiracy theories and everything, and it was a daily thing. And here's what they're doing, and here's why, and blah blah blah. And then they take a partial truth. So and so showed up here, and this is what he said, and it's just a little tiny soundbite that didn't mean anything in the context that it was being laid out to be. But this person is supposed to be some big evil that, now, and they chanted right from the beginning, the deaths and, assassinations or executions or whatever of their political enemies. That stuff all comes from apologetics that is based on fear. And this should never have come into our society in the United States. Never. Should never get people afraid and worked up and have a fictitious enemy to go after until you're actually attacking your own people because you got it in your mind that they are up to something. Not that you've asked them or anything. And even if you have, I just know you're up to it. No, you don't. And you don't have one shred of evidence. You don't have mountains of evidence. The thing of it is, those apologetics are just lies. That's what apologetics are. It's not based in fact at all. And the thing is about mountains, everybody can see a fucking mountain. Where's your mountain? Where's the mountain of evidence? And nobody came forth with any of the stuff that was being agitated. It's just speculation, hearsay, and made up crap. And same thing with all the religions. I don't care. I'm going to believe it anyways. This is what you're the bad guy for because some other person made some other shit up about you that never met you. Blah, 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 blah. These are apologetics, and they do not belong in our political society. And religion does not belong in our political society. This is a secular society because of that very thing right there. And if it continues to go on, we only have a little while till we start burning witches again, except that it's not witches, it's just everybody else who's not in the cult. So that's pretty much about my rant. And these are things that everybody knows. It's just that I'm just naming it political apologetics. And this is a real thing that's going on nowadays that has not been coined yet. And I feel that that is the problem. There's no explaining it away. Anybody can join Godless Sewing. How's it going? You could join me if you like. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about it. I'm pretty much under the weather. That's why I'm all pink still for some odd reason. I can't seem to get rid of it. Been having a hard time breathing. I don't even want to practice harmonica the past couple of days because it's such a hard thing for me to do now. Not that I got COVID or anything. I highly doubt that, but this is just one of my things I usually go through. But I just thought that I would address that this week because I'm so sick and tired of the politics, and everywhere I turn, you catch somebody right in the act of being an asshole. And no, that's, somebody set him up, or that's not what's really going on behind the scenes. I think it's this other thing. Oh, well, those are apologetics. You're making excuses. That's all that is. So it's a good one, Godless Sewing. Basically, I want to start a campaign, to nip it in the bud and to call it for what it is, and stop saying, yeah, but this little detail and that little detail, and let's argue about this and that until the end of damn time. If is anybody else that watches this, leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know that if they're getting sick and tired of arguing null points in politics that don't need to even exist. There's no reason to defend some indefensible thing. No reason at all. So why are you doing it? Do you think the guy who's being an asshole is your savior? So that's on both parties. They both just got done fleecing all of us for $3.5 trillion that the next 5 generations is going to have to pay for, while the very few elite walk off with it all. And the only thing that you got to say is there are heroes because jobs. Well, they're forcing you to work through a pandemic, making the rules so you're not allowed to make any money or have any money, yet they get to have all of it, and then they're trying to blame you. A friend of the channel, Aaron Ra, he just had a video out. I don't have it in the link or anything, about what Texas is doing. One of the mayors with this power outage, they all voted on this deregulation thing, and now they won't even get the power back. And they've had actually like 9 or 10 people die from this freeze that they're not used to, and the infrastructure that they refused to build because they wanted more money, even though everybody's paying for their electric. The politicians are saying, oh no, that's socialism. Let's not help each other. Let's not get this thing going because we don't have any federal funding. and that's socialism. If all you people want to do something, get off your butt and go to work and take care of your own family. Well, Aaron made a point of who the hell is going to build a power grid for themselves in their own house. Most people do not have the money to afford groceries, much less a damn power grid. And if you try, excuse me for a second, if you try, just go on YouTube, look at off-grid living, and you'll see tons of people who try to get off the grid, create their own energy systems, live simpler, work and do their own things and be, kind to the environment, all that stuff. And the cops have come and arrested them in their own damn house because they weren't connected to the grid, paying some rich bastards to regulate them. Took their house from them, sold their property out from under them, and smashed their house to the ground. And then put them in jail because they weren't hooked up to the grid. This happens all the time in America. And it's about time they stop. It's time to eat the rich, as the old saying goes. And the politicians are all in on it too. They want to talk a good, honest story, and this is what we got to do, and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as they turn around from that pulpit, they're like, ha, 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 Snidely Whiplash kind of character. I got you now. Bunch of idiots. And we are. Because a lot of people just cheer them right on and believe every stupid thing they got to say because they're, got this God and country stupid thing going on, and they don't give two shits about human existence. Human life and human existence isn't worth a shit because of this political apologetics. They get away with whatever bullshit that they want to get away with, and everybody cheers them on. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people cheer him on with thunderous applause. Yay, master, kill us some more. We know it's the other guy doing it. Did you OD on stupid pills? Give me a damn break. This shit needs to stop. Our so-called leaders are supposed to be our employees. They're supposed to be the hub at the wagon wheel that keeps all of us getting along. Not the person who's taking everything from us and making us topple into servitude while they walk off with all the goodies. They call it runaway capitalism. This is true. It's also backwards capitalism, trickle down. Okay, so when are they going to start trickling it down? Oh, that's right. They just walked off with $3 trillion. It's not trickling down. You'd be lucky if you get your $1,400. They're talking now if you get a tax thing back. Well, shit, that incentive, you don't need that incentive or the whatever they call it. Nope, because that's just more money that you just don't need, and we figure you can just live off of this little bit. Meanwhile, you got $10,000 in back rent that they wouldn't allow you to go work for, even though, it's a pandemic thing. You shouldn't be out there. But still, we're making it so if you're poor, you are fucked. Period. Anybody not having steady $100,000 a year incomes is fucked. Unless you're like me, I'm a disabled person and I paid my house off years ago. So, they can still come in and take my house whenever they want. That's just what the assholes do. However, they don't have any reason to. It's like living in a fishing shanty or some shit. But anyways, this is all, what are you, the cattle, allowed to have? And I don't want to get into conspiracy theory kind of shit, but let's think back over the past, all the way back to Reagan. When Ronald Reagan got up on stage and one of the major CEOs of the country got up there and said, let's wrap this thing up, will you? Got a meeting. Okay, so what the hell does a corporation have doing standing up on the stage with the President of the United States in the first place, much less barking orders at him? Who the hell owns the President of the United States? That was about 40 years ago. 35, whatever the hell it was. And this shit has been taken over ever since. You think your leaders are making the laws? They're not. They talk a good story, and then they give apologetics for why they can get away with the opposite thing anyways, and yet still make it look like your fault because you just want to be a socialist. That's all it is. You just want freebies, even though that's not true at all. You're willing to work for your keep, right? But yet it's still somebody else's fault. The other neighbor of yours that wants the same thing you do. So this is my rant for tonight's show. I'm gonna call it a night. Wish everybody well. Make some comments. Do you agree with me or disagree? Doesn't matter. Start chatting with each other. Let's grow this thing and get together and figure out something to do, because this is just bullshit. Okay, I'm gonna try to have this channel on a different time, probably during the week. Probably around 3 or 4 during the weekday, Friday or Saturday, something like that, or on Thursday or Friday. So, excuse me, sorry, Thursday or Friday, probably around 3 or 4 o'clock. There's a lot of people working now, so it's hard to say. You might not watch it. You can watch a replay, but I need more guests on here. I'm going to try to get a couple of scientists on here talking their spiel, experts in certain areas that they can talk about, and try to debug or debunk some of the myths and mysticisms that have driven false information and wrong decisions in our world based on these things. So I'm going to ask the experts how to show us how to shed the mysticism and break down the bullshit so we can toss it out. All right. Well, gang, I'm going to call it a night. And, remember to, well, I'm not going to do my other channel. I got to figure out what to do for an exit on this channel. This one's a little bit more serious. Just try to think. Shed the mysticism out of your mind. You'll be better for it. Trust me.